This is a car program. There will be no cushions. There will be no rag rolling. No one will sing, and at the end of the series, no one will have a recording contract. This is our new base. And this is our purpose-built test track. There are no traffic jams here, well, apart from this one, and no bus lanes either. This is Top Gear.
Everyone, welcome back to another video, and hopefully if I get decent enough like IRL footage, there's going to be some IRL footage in this. So, the great debate of sim racing is always how realistic is it compared to the real thing, and can you learn from one and bring it over to the other? Well, I am amazingly now going to be in the privileged position to be able to test that. It is currently Wednesday evening, and on Friday midday I am going to be doing a supercar driving experience around a racetrack in England, one of my favourite racetracks that I've been seeing on television for years, and I've actually get to go there and I actually get to do some laps, which is going to be absolutely incredible. And I thought, what better than let's actually try this. Let's do a little bit of practice now. We'll do the run. I'm doing 6 laps, so let's do the run that I'm going to do there in the car on that track. Let's do it in the sim. I'll go there. I don't know what footage I can get. I'll try and get best I can, and then we can come back and see if I've improved and see what comments I can make about it. So I think that's going to be a great idea for a video. So let's jump into it, shall we? Okie, so here I am in the car that I am going to be driving, which is a Porsche 911 Turbo. This is what I've booked to drive, and this is the track that I'm going to be driving at. I'll see how long it takes you guys to figure out what track it is. But, so, off we go. Let's see what I can do. So I've driven this track in games. The first game I ever drove this track in was Gran Turismo 5. I think that was one of the only games that actually had this track in it. Gran Turismo 5, maybe Gran Turismo 6. And then didn't really appear in anything else because they don't hold races here. There's no real events that happen here. If you haven't noticed it by now, I actually made that. If you don't recognise it by now, go and where were you the past 20 years on BBC? This is Dunsfold, also known as the Top Gear test track. I'm actually going to be going here in a couple of days' time, driving this car. So I've already done a few things wrong that I'm sure will get the instructors upset. But it's just a question of, like, I've got the motion rig working now, so I can sort of feel how it's going to go. So let's try and make sure I definitely learn the track and learn what we need to do. So this will be lap 2. I'm going to count this as lap 2. So off we go. Fast down here. And then if that crest actually exists, start slowing down the crest. And then down to second, I think that's called Coogan Curve. And then it's Chicago, isn't it? So I sort of lifted off there into second gear, on and off the throttle, right, flat out down the runway over to the right hand side, coming down to one of the most famous corners of the Hammerhead. I brake before the 100 meters, try best to keep it in the white lines. Accelerate out, third, and it takes me right to the edge. Now follow through. I'm going to break down to third. I don't think you can do follow through flat. That'd be too risky if you do follow through flat. Follow through part 2. No, I lifted off there. Lifted off and touched the brake a little bit. So there's a 100 meter board there. That looks right. Oh, that's a bit of opposite lock. Again, this is stuff I need to not do on Friday. This is why I'm doing it now in the sim, so I can practice. I can practice being an absolute tool. Right. Lap 3. Oh, don't want to do that. I shifted down too much and I went to first gear. I massively over-revved it. Again, this might all feel completely different because I'm probably going to be in a right-hand drive car as well, so it's probably going to feel completely different being on the other side. Because this is obviously left-hand drive because it's German, but I'm going to be driving it in the UK, so it's going to be interesting to see. And again, I don't know if this is the exact model of Porsche 911 Turbo. It's actually, this is like a 2015 Porsche 911 Turbo S. I think that's the second time I got second to last corner wrong. Let's see if I can do a clean lap. Come on. Right, so lap 5. And you're probably wondering why doing it at Porsche 11 or how this came back. Well, very nicely, it was a gift from my mum. She bought the driving experience for me for my birthday, and it's taken this long to get there because my birthday was in November. But also you're probably wondering why Porsche 911, because driving experiences you get to choose multiple cars, and you do. There was things like an Audi R8 V10 or a sort of Lamborghini Gallardo, and there was a Nissan GTR, I think, and I think a Ferrari 458. There was a handful of like other supercars that you could pick. Why did I go for the 911? Well, I didn't want something ridiculously fast like the Audi R8, because the Audi R8 is like the 10th fastest car around this track, and if I was in a car that would be really quick, the event will be over. So I thought I'll go for a slightly slower one. And I've done a driving experience before where I drove multiple supercars. Lamborghini Gallardo was my favourite, but then second was the Porsche 911. So I'm very happy with the Porsche. Right, so let's see if I can put in a fast lap that wouldn't scare the hell out of an instructor. So as soon as this starts going uphill and you sort of straighten out for the first corner, down to second, round what they refer to as the first corner, down to second for Chicago. Right, then flat out. Got the traction control light blinking constantly. I'm sure they'll have that on for me. So before that white line for the runway lines, and then second gear, still you go flat out. Traction control helps me. Go up to here, sort of about 75 meters. You want to break down to third, carry it through. Then you want to go as wide as you can towards the tyres. I'm going to lift off through there. You could probably do it flat, but I don't really want to. 100 meters, brake, turn in, and around wide. And that is a lap around Dunsfold and across the line is the line I meant to say. So what was my time? If we go back to pits. So I need to remember that my time here was a 1:20.35. So that was my lap. So I now wonder what I can do in the real thing and when I come back after having done the real thing. This is very surreal. I recognise a lot of this from the television. This is very surreal. We're coming up on, yeah, this is where the pit lane area is. I'm going to pull up over here. This is where the pit lane area is. It's at the second to last corner. This is weird. So I'm at Dunsfold now. Very surreal. I recognise a lot of this stuff from games and things, and TV, obviously. Very surreal. I'm meeting up with Kieran. If you've watched CSGB and SnowRunner and such, you know of Kier.
So from what I'm seeing as well, it's not the full layout of the track. So the thing that I did before, testing it and doing the layout, it's not the full version of the track. So the pit lane is here at the second to last corner, and you head all the way down to the hammerhead, do the hammerhead, head up towards follow through, but you don't turn right at follow through, you go straight on, go across the old start finish line backwards, and I can see cars going the wrong way around Gambon and second to last corner. So it's just the outer bit, you don't actually do the middle bit, so you don't do Chicago in the follow through, which is kind of disappointing. I forgot my ID. So many nice cars going so fast. That'll be my one, not the Aerial Atom, the Porsche. So one thing that's different straight away from the bit I did on the sim already is it's going to be 4 laps, not 6, because it's a longer track, so I'm only doing 4 laps. And it's not the full configuration, so because obviously there are multiple people going out, so you cannot do the figure of 8 for obvious reasons. So we go out here, there is the second to last corner. We go out this way and head straight down towards Hammerhead, do Hammerhead, come around, head towards the follow through, but then rather than turning right, you go straight on along where the old start finish line was. Wrong way around Gambon, wrong way around Hammerhead. That's my empty can of Diet Coke running away.
Our blue cones. Going left. Bring the speed off and then round to the right. Remember, try and get all the speed off before the corner. We're not wanting to be braking or accelerating whilst we are got the steering at an angle. I'm moving out to the left to let the GTR past.
So just done a sighting lap in the Ford Transit there. Circuit's very different from anything I've done. There's lots of cones to make you do chicanes so you don't go stupidly fast. Yeah, but the rest of the circuit, you take hammerhead as normal. You actually take follow through somewhat as normal, but then you turn off and go up that way. And yeah, look forward to it. Just got to queue up now to do the laps in the Porsche.
Don't brake. Oh, sorry, just run around to the... Yeah, you just sort of turned a bit early, don't worry. Back in the accelerator.
So thankfully, this was the only incident I had. I just went around the wrong side of the cone. Because as you can sort of see, it's lots of little chicanes going around just to give you a bit more handling of the car. Because the only sort of real corner was Hammerhead and Gambon and second to last corner. So as you can see, there's some chicanes here, but I'll take you through a lap of what I did. So coming out the second to last corner, we've got this Nissan 350Z in front of us. So we take a bit of a chicane out to the other side of the track, back down to the right hand side. Now this is coming up to Chicago. So we come around here, I'm getting right behind the Nissan as we go around Chicago. Accelerate away again, the Nissan getting a bit slower, but this is why we have instructors, because they pull over to the side. That's the side I was trying to go to before, but so they let me past. There's one more chicane there, again just to sort of slow your speed as you're coming up towards the hammerhead. Get to hammerhead, brake, go through the cones, take the hammerhead. I did go through the lines, whoopsie daisy. But then you accelerate through, you put your foot down quite early. The instructors, telling me to get my foot down, which was fabulous to be in control of a Porsche 911, just being told put your foot down, particularly here as well, being told right, go, 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 past the Mustang, past the Lamborghini, up to the follow through, and then go through the follow through, and then cut around to go backwards around the track, being allowed past another Lamborghini because I was actually quite quick around the circuit. At this point I couldn't see, but we had a passenger ride car behind us who was sort of trying to notify my instructor that we were there. But we go through the chicane across the start finish line, which is there, and then we go runway around Gambon. And then this is where it divides up. You stay on this side of the line, ready to go around the second to last corner and start another lap. So while we're at the track as well, Kier decided that he was going to pay to have a passenger ride for a couple of laps in an aerial at. How brown are your trousers?
Very. Change them at the wedding. Oh, God, that's rapid. That's absolutely ridiculous. Second lap, he just went straight down. Must have been doing 100. He said about 120, 30 or something. Wow. Oh, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
This is something I've wanted to do. I've worked in television for 20 years, never had the chance yet, okay?
Back to the studio.
Hey, that's my line! That's what I wanted to say! May, you James!
However, before I decided to go back to the studio, I took a quick trip to London.
Just didn't seem to get away from the... He is going to take his first victory of the season.
So let's have a go, and this is now very surreal because I've obviously been here. So this was where the pits were, and like beyond these tyres is where we all queued up and where I did the pieces to camera and things like that. So it's actually very surreal now being here. It is actually quite surreal being back in the Sims. So where does it go? So we went this way and then went like this. I think there was another I think there was another sort of chicane. We went this way and then we went over here and then back over here. And so being told first gear for Hammerhead, so I would have been going about this sort of speed. So in the game there's a lot more understeer, so I obviously didn't do that. There's a lot more understeer in this game because I could have, when I was in the car, if we go back to Hammerhead, I would come around Hammerhead and I'd get to here and I could go flat there. Then you can slow down, go through the chicane that they had, get to here, go through here. This bit was quite fun because you can do it quite fast. Your brakes up about here, do the chicane. Yeah, so this is the route that I did. You sort of come over to this side, brake down a bit. Yeah, come over to here. Brake, come over here. Yeah, I guess then join there. Got it slightly wrong. And then over here, like that. It was first gear. So I can't remember if there was a chicane along here. There must have been. I can't remember if there was a chicane along the... There was, wasn't there? There was a chicane after Hammerhead. It's been like a week now since I've done it. Because I went off and did other things. So, but this is cool. This is exactly how I did it. Oh well, we went over here first, and then it was like here. Then it was like back over here. Yeah. Then it was this way for Chicago. So we sort of did do a bit of Chicago. But I'd like to admit I did put my foot down in the Porsche. I'm sorry that on board I don't talk very much because I was like quite aware that I had quite a fast car and was driving quite fast as well. Thankfully the flappy paddle came quite naturally to me because I don't know if it was caught on the camera. He asked if I'd ever used flappy paddle and I was like, yeah, I'm familiar with how to use flappy paddle, so yeah, this is how it went. The motion in the seat feels good. It's sort of how it felt when doing it. But, you know, which is good to know. And yeah, it feels surreal to be driving around because obviously it was a different layout, so it didn't feel like it didn't hit me as much, and it still didn't really hit me like I drove around this. I drove around Hammerhead. No, I drove around the Hammerhead, and there was a chicane there. But I drove around that, and I came up to follow through, and alright, we did these corners. We did these corners the wrong way, but still, it was still cool. And again, yeah, just coming up here and just recognising, you know, because all these lines are there. All these lines on the tracker are there as well. And just coming up here, and that is very recognisable for me. And then, like I said at the beginning, just turning off here and going into the pit lane. So yeah, very surreal going to a track, and it feels exactly how it felt, which is really impressive. You know, the motion with the seat. The only bit you don't get is the tightness, stomach churning that you get. That's the only thing you don't get is the stomach churning. That's absolutely great. Although I would quickly like to see what Kier experienced. Jesus! So Kier obviously wasn't driving, but my god. I mean, this is the V8 one, so this is a bit more powerful, but still, this is what Kier experienced as a passenger. Didn't go on the grass, obviously, but oh my god. I mean, Kieran was braver than me doing that. I mean, I didn't really have the money to do it, but well, no, I spent about the same amount. I think he said they just gunned it all the way down. I mean, I'm sort of feeling and imagining that speed of going down in that aerial atom. Holy moly! I mean, this is. I mean, that would have been mental. I mean, I spent about the same on the footage, but I thought the footage is more important for you guys. Don't say I don't do anything for you, but wow. I mean, that's all Kieran did. It would have taken that long. It would have taken that long, maybe a bit quicker. That was bloody fast. That was bloody fast. Right, so what have we learned? What we learned? The aerial atom is bloody fast. Jean-Eric Verne now ain't gonna win the Formula E championship this year. And the motion rig is pretty accurate. Again, the testing that I did beforehand did absolutely nothing for me. The game has the cars a little bit faster than real life. Because like going into Hammerhead in the game in the Porsche, I was in third gear, whereas in the real car I was in second. So the game makes the cars that little bit faster. Which would explain as well the understeer I got coming out of the Hammerhead, because I didn't have that in the car. It was the real car was really tight. So yeah, what a fabulous week I had coming to Top Gear and seeing Kier who is going to be my teammate and co-commentator for the new season of CSGB. Be sure to check that out on the CSGB Twitch channel and on this channel live every Tuesday up until like bloody December. It's going to be a long season. And yeah, then went to London, went to the XL for the first time, and got to get up and close and personal with Formula E cars and meet James, who has been on the channel and part of Kieran's community for a while. And I managed to bump into Jack Nichols during the weekend. That was good. I really like Jack. He's probably one of my favourite commentators out there, if not my favourite commentator out there. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed the IRL video. Yeah, I'll try and get stuff out as well during the summer break. I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. But thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye bye.